So thanks very much. My name is Kirsten. I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Law, working in the International Pathways and Programs team, so with responsibility for our international students. My colleague and partner on this project is Wolf, a learning technologist here at the University of Law, and he's bringing most of the techie skills here. So we've been working with AI, a custom GPT, as a diagnostic tool for students' English language writing skills at the university. Well, would you like to go to the next slide? Thanks. So just to give you an idea of the student demographic and the challenges that they face at the University of Law. The unique thing about the University of Law is a specialist provider in legal education, as you might be aware. So a lot of the students who come to us, particularly international students, are studying at postgraduate level. Some of them are converting to law as a new discipline. Many are already working in the professions, and many of them also have families, so they have other responsibilities as well as study. So the challenges that present is that they often have to very, very quickly learn a whole new vocabulary of quite specialized language. Many of them, because of their previous experiences, might not recognize initially the skills gap that they have in terms of their language skills. And so that can be a challenge for lecturers to communicate to them or to make them aware of. Or conversely, they might lack confidence in their language skills, but not have the confidence to come forward and engage with our learning support services. An increasing amount, because of the challenges of the visa system recently, have been learning online as well. And so the education is increasingly digitized. And there are pressures on their time as well, what with their jobs and families. So these are the challenges that we have with our students and learning to support them with their academic writing. Wolf, next slide, please. Thank you. So in this context, with the hybrid learning, digitized learning, students being quite time poor, we came up with the idea to create a custom GPT to support students with their academic writing. Now, the aim of that GPT is for students to be able to evaluate their academic writing independently, identify the key areas for improvement in that writing, and importantly, to signpost them to independent learning resources that have been designed in-house or curated in-house so that we have a fully designed logical pathway of what's being evaluated and the learning that we would like the students to have in those areas. It has been designed in response to a survey and research that I've done with teaching staff, so we know what the needs are. And it's personalized in that it's responsive to those students' needs at the moment that they upload their work. In terms of student autonomy, we've really seen that it raises awareness of students' own ideas and awareness of their strengths and the areas that they need to improve in. And we think that it's aligned to the digital experience that students have outside the university in their professional and personal lives as well. And it's also super focused because it's bite-sized learning resources that are designed to be, I was going to go with the bite-sized metaphor there, but ingested or to be consumed, if you like, fitting in with a really busy schedule that the students have. Both, would you like to go for the situations analysis?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Do apologise. Yeah, so just taking you through the sort of iterations of Alice. We started off very, very simple by building a custom GPT. The reason we chose custom GPTs is because you can create what's called a custom knowledge base. So instead of the GPT going out to the wider OpenAI network, which is basically the whole of the internet, it only goes out, it only searches a knowledge base that we put up onto the custom GPT. So we have control over the data of what it does. So we started off really simple at the first iteration, which was basically just some examples of writing and some feedback on other examples of writing, put those in the knowledge base and very basic instructions. And we've worked backwards and forwards, building up different iterations of Alice to the point where now the knowledge base is much more refined. We've given set criteria that we want Alice to follow in order to give feedback to the students, and we have her performing in a much more useful way for the students. And we're at the stage now where we're ready to sort of launch it out to the students and see what they think and get feedback after quite a bit of testing and backwards and forwards and building. For those who aren't aware of custom GPTs, this is kind of what they look like at the back end when you're building one. So you have an instructions box where you have to be very, very specific in what you tell the custom GPT that you want them to do. So you have to tell them where you want them to send the students and what you want to give feedback. And then at the bottom down here, you see what's called the knowledge base, which is kind of the documents and things that you upload so that the custom GPT knows where to go and to get its information, to give the feedback, basically. So that's what ours kind of look like. And then we'll just do a quick video just to sort of show you kind of what Alice looks like. So the student jumps in, they say good morning. First thing Alice will give them is a link to a support resource, which will tell them how to use Alice. So when they click on that, this was made with using H5P. So they go in, there's a little video about Alice. There's guides on how to sign up to ChatGPT, because to use a custom GPT, you need to have at least a free ChatGPT account. So there's a guide to sort of how to do that. There's a little video about what Alice is and explaining what she does. We've given a kind of prompt guide as well, so students can literally just copy and paste the prompts across if they're struggling with what to sort of ask. So they're able to upload their work that they wanted some feedback on. And then we refined the instructions for Alice to give a top 3 areas for improvement in the first instance. It's because if we didn't do that, we found that it was just giving reams and reams and reams of feedback. So we refined it so it was top 3 areas. And then what it'll do is it'll drop in links and URLs to bespoke resources that Kirsten's been working hard on. She's created a whole website that sort of sits behind this, that's got all the students' resources on. And so we're basically sort of controlling where the students go to for their feedback and for their to kind of improve their work to the resources that we think would help them best to support them. And then we just say thank you, that was useful, and have a great day. So that's what kind of Alice looks like. Back over to you, Kirsten. Where to find Alice?
Lovely, thank you. So our next, because Alice sits in it, she's a GPT, we had to think about where to sit her, if you like. So she's we have a page in the library and learning skills set of web pages. So we have a web page which you'll see on the bottom right hand of the corner of this slide, which has various different criteria that she evaluates in, and that houses the resources that are a response to students' needs in there. So because we've therefore embedded her in a web page, that means that we're able to share that web link in a number of different other sources. So we have it reflected in a learning skills web page. I've been including it in induction presentations. We are going to be user testing next month with a specific degree program that has the highest demographic of international students at the university. And so that will sit within their module page. And eventually, once the user testing has been done, we'll be able to house her in the student app, which means they'll easily be able to just upload documents from there and get feedback on their app as they go. So it's really easy to be able to share now, and hopefully students will be seeing a lot more of Alice in the next couple of months. Do you want to say a little bit about the limitations, Wolf?
Yeah, so in the first instance, one of the biggest limitations was the ability for people to access custom GPTs. But luckily, as we were building Alice, OpenAI opened it out to free users being able to access custom GPTs. So that was really useful for us, because now, as Kirsten said, we can just share the link out and embed it in places. Is all the student has to do is have a free ChatGPT account, click on the link, and it'll take them to Alice, and they can use Alice. So that was good. That was really useful for us. And then kind of next steps and where we want to take her, we're going to keep building out the knowledge base, as Kirsten said, get a lot of feedback from students, and we might need to tweak things based on the user feedback. And then one of the things that we're exploring is the use of AI avatars with things like HeyGen, and we also have a virtual reality offering at ULaw that we're also looking at potentially doing an AI virtual reality avatar where the custom GPT would sit behind that avatar as the knowledge base, and the student would, instead of going to an interface that you've just seen, they would go and they would see Alice as an avatar, and they would speak to Alice, and Alice would respond back. And that's something that we're looking to build out. And it'd be interesting to see the difference between that personalisation and whether there's a visual element adds anything for the student experience in terms of interaction, or whether that's kind of not worth paying that extra sort of money for, and whether the interface is enough. And we're only going to get those questions answered as we push this out to students and see how they interact and feel about it.
On this note here as well, I just wanted to mention that I'm working from an academic point of view with program teams so that we are able to make the knowledge base and therefore the evaluation and the learning resources that students are sent to more specialised and more subject specific. So we're working with academic masters in law just now, but we've also had interest from the business management masters team. So that will require a different knowledge base, different learning resources to be targeted to. So there's scope there for technological expansion, but also for much more specialisation in terms of what she does.
Yes, and there's our contact details if you need. And then this is a working
we don't have any
version of. Oh no, we didn't have sound. Anyway, that's a working version of what Alice is going to look like as an avatar potentially. This was built with using HeyGen, which is an AI avatar creator. But we like I say, we have a virtual reality subscription via a company called Victory XR, and they've just started doing virtual reality AI avatars, which coincidentally and luckily for us use custom GPTs to power them. So it would be hopefully going to be quite straightforward for us to take what we've done with Alice and then sit it behind a custom avatar and see whether that makes any difference for students' enjoyment.
And I think we've gone right over our time now. So
oh yeah, I know. Sorry about that. I was talking as quick as I could.
Thank you.
Great, thank you both. Yeah, I know we're up to 56. So in terms of like doing for time, we're actually we're doing pretty well. I'm just going to stop the recording here. So if there are any questions, we've got a few minutes to field them. So farewell to anyone watching on YouTube.